Hello, welcome back to the Spark of Love. I'm Casey, and I have beautiful Breanna Kinney-Orr. She is from NurseDeck. NurseDeck, I ran into NurseDeck. It is a wonderful platform. It is built by nurses for nurses. I don't want to butcher it. I use it all the time, but I want the professional to tell you what it's all about. So I'm going to be asking her some questions. So I'm just going to welcome her in. Welcome, Breanna.
Thank you. Thank you for having me. Happy
Yes.
to be here.
So are you a nurse as well?
I am, yeah. So I started out bedside nursing, put in my, med surge year, and then I quickly transitioned to the emergency department, and that's where I spent the majority of my career. So once I started a family, I transitioned to being a working from home mom. I have two sets of twins, so pretty busy. And I like to say, I feel like in comparison to the emergency room, the twins are maybe a little bit more intense, but no.
Yes. You
So
give it to your mama. I have a 1-year-old and he keeps me busy.
yes, my younger set, they just turned one also, so they're like, they're into everything, and you may hear them
Yes.
in the background. We have a nanny she's putting them down right now, so they usually have opinion about that.
Yeah. Oh,
So
wow. Well, we're not going to keep you too long. We just wanted to
yeah.
know how you got affiliated with NurseDeck and what it's all about.
Yeah, so basically, when I made the decision that I was going to be a stay-at-home mom, I don't know if it was the nurse in me, or, you can just get restless, or at least I got restless. And I was like, what else can I do at home that still is like in the nursing realm? So I joined a freelance site. I like to write, though I'm not like, professionally trained or, have a background in journalism or anything like that. But I've always loved to write, and I decided that I was going to try to do like some medical writing and write articles. And so I started with that. And then about a year into that, I just through the freelancer site that I was a part of, came in contact with Neville, who's one of the founders of NurseDeck, and their relationship just sprung off from there. And that was back in the beginning of 2020. So we all know where 2020 led us.
Yes. Yes.
And even though I think in its earliest, inception, NurseDeck was more of a, like, not an agency site, but sort of a recruiting site. So it worked through referrals, and it was a job site. And it had a couple little, I don't want to say gimmicks, but things that made it stand out. So you could refer nurses for different jobs and get, kickbacks and referral fees from there. So that's where we started. Okay. And then just where the year took us with COVID, and then all the racial justice issues that came up, I was doing all the social media for it at the time. And we found that the more that we posted about the real and the current issues, the more we were getting actual community engagement. And it changed the entire trajectory of the site. So I'm sure Neville could probably speak more to that as far as like the metrics behind the scene, but in the last year, it has just taken off. And we have our own website that is like a resource and guidelines website. It has all sorts of different articles and resources for anyone that's a nursing student up through, seasoned nurses with decades of experience. We have, kind of opinion pieces and actual like how-to guides, different perspectives on nurses from every different field, if you're, interested in different nursing fields. And then from there, our newest side project is a social media site, and that's been super exciting. So that is, just like the social website is a place where you can create groups. You can post under your own profile. You can post anonymously. You can share articles. You can do polls. You can do questions. And people are really responsive on there. So if you need support in real time, it's a great place to go to get it.
Yes. And Breanna, I'm gonna cut you in because I get so excited. When I saw
Yeah,
music, I got really excited. Let me tell you why I got excited. Because number one, it's not just pumping up, like the perfect, oh, everything is perfect. It is giving a real, like real
yeah,
stories. When you read these stories, they're not like, oh, everything is wonderful, come be a nurse. No, it's
right.
real. And I love it because it promotes nurse entrepreneurship.
Yes,
It supports students, the students who they can come in and speak to an experienced nurse and get mentorship and ask questions. And it's also
yes,
a positive space because sometimes on Facebook it could get a little negative, but
yeah,
it's a positive professional community. I
right,
love it. I think it's
yes,
I know it's in the beginning stages, but I see all
right,
that it can be. And I
yes,
thought the people who created this and is promoting this, they really love nurses. They really want to like have a space for nurses. And
yes,
I just really I can't wait till nurses catch on because
yeah.
it is going to be very, very powerful.
Right.
Yeah.
There's really nothing like it right now that I have come across. There's some awesome accounts and nursing websites out there already that have message boards or places where you can, leave comments back and forth to each other on articles that capture your interest. But as far as places where you can go and have conversations in real time, there really isn't another site that's quite comparable to it. And I like that you touched on the fact that we really try to stay authentic and
Yeah.
true to what's going on with nursing right now. So
Yeah.
that's not always, hardly ever always, it seems like now, there's so many issues affecting us.
Yeah.
And we really are trying to keep nurses in the field and retain nurses. We don't want nurses getting so burnt out that there's no one left. And there's things can do with their careers. So we want to really promote that to nurses, that there are always people that are there for you if you need support, mental health support, emotional support, professional support. There are people that are willing to be mentors and kind of light the way for nurses that are coming up in the field or that are maybe thinking of changing their paths a little bit. So we are really hoping that nurses can kind of latch on to that and support each other and have it be this like living, breathing community space that allows nurses to turn towards one another instead of being divided over things, which I think other social sites tend to promote the division. And their algorithms are based on engagement. Well, what creates engagement a lot of the times is arguing. So we are trying to make our own space where that's not the case.
I'm going to be honest with you, Breanna. When I saw this, I thought this is exactly what nursing needs right now because we have been so disconnected. Like how many nurses we have within the United States, and
Yeah.
we're all fragmented, and everybody is like doing their own thing. And I am power to you, do your thing.
Yeah.
But if we could have a community where everybody could do their thing in one site, it cuts down on redundancy. I've been part of many nurse Facebook groups, and I realized on multiple fronts, we're all talking about the same thing.
Yes, right.
So how cool would it be if we could be in a space together where you don't have to be redundant and you can actually use your power to empower and connect and collaborate and network? I just think that's you guys have a superpower right here, and I really hope that it takes off. I will promote it. My husband is in nursing school right now.
Oh, good for him.
Yes, so I've been telling him about it and telling him to share it with his classmates because nursing school in a pandemic, like nursing school is hard, period. But in a pandemic, I feel sorry for them.
I know they're braving a new world. Really.
Yes. And we can't afford to lose the students. We already have shortage. So we really need our students, and your platform offers the support for the students, even meals, like preparing a healthy meal. I'm like, this is awesome.
We try to think of everything. Nurses are always hungry. They always have to pee. So I think if we provide them a space to get a little break, and yeah, just some, the advice that we try to give and the guides that we try to give have such a variety and a range from, more lighthearted topics to super serious topics. And that we really want to promote that variety. Because there's, like you said, there's nurses in every walk of life, and we need one space where we can all come together. So that's what we're trying to provide there.
Yes. And you know what I like about it is that it's not just a space to come and complain and say, oh, all of this is wrong in the world of nursing.
Right.
It's also positive, because I have seen some where even doctors are sharing this, so it's, even though it's a space for nurses, you have the entrepreneurs, you have the different specialties. People can talk, collaborate with each other, even students they don't have to feel stuck in just, the normal, oh, let me do my duty at med-surg. Right. There are nurses doing their thing out there, and they can see that. That's awesome. That's
absolutely
awesome.
We've been doing a video series lately, and we've been interviewing nurses that are doing some incredible things from all over the world. I interviewed a nurse from Dubai the other day, which is fun, trying to coordinate all those time zone schedules. But yeah, it's really awesome to see all the different ways that you can be a nurse now. And I think that's so important for nursing students to see, because you do have to get your clinical experience in, and they're going to be coming across nurses that are extremely burnt out and exhausted. And we want to show them that there are, there's a light at the end of the tunnel, that, we need bedside nurses, of course, but we also want to show that there's so many things you can do with your career besides just bedside. I don't want to say just bedside nursing, but in addition to bedside nursing.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. And, you really speak to the culture within nursing, because if you can get to the root of the culture, of burnout, we start in burnout. So if you can show, some nurses, they're taking their self-care into their hands. They're really, your most recent interview was about a nurse talking about wellness. And that's needed. So it's, if you are, I love that you're doing the videos, because if you are a visual person, or if you like to read articles, NurseDeck has it. This is wonderful. This is wonderful. So if anyone is thinking about joining NurseDeck, I'm going to put the links to how you can get to NurseDeck. There's a lot of content. You can just read it, or you can actually engage on the social media side. Like Breanna said, there's a groups where you could actually form your own group. So if you are on Facebook and you say, hey, I don't know what's going on, let me transfer to NurseDeck. Let me transfer my group to NurseDeck. Or you want to start a group. Even if your group say, I don't know what I'm doing. You may find a bunch of people don't know what they're doing either. And you can find them on NurseDeck, and they're all nurses. It's a professional community. You have to verify with your license, which is awesome. So it's not anybody allowed there, just nurses. And I think that's awesome.
No bots.
Yes, absolutely. So please, if you are a nurse, and you should, I definitely think it's at least worth it for you to check it out.
Yeah, absolutely. And we love getting feedback from our nurses out there. Like we said in the beginning, we're built by nurses. So we like to take everybody's voice and have it count.
Yes. And they are nurses. They're so sweet. Oh, they are so sweet. I love your team. They're very, very responsive, very respectful, and just, you get the same courtesy you give your patients, you give to me. I'm just a budding YouTuber, and you took time out to have me ask you all these questions. So I appreciate it,
Absolutely.
Well, thank you so much. Thank you for doing this interview. I appreciate it so much. And check out NurseDeck. Thank you, Breanna.
Thank you.
Okay.